Good morning and welcome to Vinyl Reveals episode number 18, the last episode of 2020, and thank you for joining me for this one where I'll be running down my top 12 albums from 2020. Most of these I've reviewed, some of them I haven't. Some of these I purchased prior to starting Vinyl Reveals, only fair they get in the mix as well, I thought, and sample the best of what I think is possibly the best out there. I have missed some along the way, which I'll talk about in a minute, but don't despair. Episode 18, we're coming from sunny, snowy Loughton near Wigan, if you're wondering about the sudden change of scenery. There you go, and they've got a underfloor heated floor, which is nice, keeping my feet warm. And my heart warm too, as ever, of course. This episode, I've entitled this myself. It's getting a bit jealous of everyone else having a go. So it's all about the music, and of course that's very apt, and it is all about the music. It's not really about the weight of the vinyl, if your centre discs are lined up or not, or if your vinyl's got splatter or it's just plain black, or if the cover's multicoloured and artistic and out there and leaves you guessing, or it's just straight up front and tells you as it is. Doesn't really matter, but it's all about the music, and that's great. And we'll keep watching Vinyl Reveals because I go on about all the other stuff, so tough, you know. So I'm not really selling myself here, but there you go. Episode 18, so we're underway. Now, throughout the year, obviously, I've listened to some stuff later on which I've caught on. It's worth mentioning some other bands that I haven't got their vinyl or haven't been able to give their albums a good listen, so I'll just shout a few out. You've got the Asteroid Number 4, an American band. They had an album out this year called Northern Songs. Worth checking that out, definitely. A little bit different. I won't say too much more about that. Check it out. A band called the Reds, Pinks and Purples. They had an album out called You Might Be Happy Someday. That's quite chilled back. Kind of Luxembourg Signal type mode feel to it. Some very, very good songs they brought out on that album, worth checking out as well. A band called Moon Goose. I don't know too much about those guys. I know they've had quite a few albums out in the past. They've had an album out called The Wax Monster Lives Behind the First Row of Trees. Very interesting title for an album. And a very interesting album, a bit quirky, a bit out there, you know what's coming next. Some interjected songs where they only last like a few seconds and they're off. Very cool. And an Irish band called Sons of Southern Ulster, which they've had an album out this year. I'm not quite sure what the album's titled. New band, I think. Check them out. Quite punky kind of folk punk. I'll call those guys. And another couple, Bodega. They haven't had an album out this year. They've had they're from Brooklyn in New York. They had an EP out this year, which is very good. I think they'll probably have an album out next year, Bodega. And Moonlight Parade, of course, who I reviewed their EP. Those guys produced a great EP, probably the best, new EP. I don't buy many EPs, to be honest. This year specifically, too busy buying albums, but run out of money for the EPs. But Moonlight Parade produced a great EP this year, and check those guys out. I think there's an album coming next year, so those are just some bands to point out, to keep an eye out for, and they've had some albums out, so hopefully adding a few of those to my collection very soon. So let's get on with it. We're into the rundown of the top 12 now. Obviously there were 17 albums in the running, so the albums that didn't quite make it. There isn't a bad album in here. Every album I've reviewed I've enjoyed. This year, the year it's been very kind of insular. You've had more time to listen to music. You've needed kind of cheering up. So I'm that kind of guy who's this year I've been kind of looking for music that's sort of a bit more uplifting, get me up dancing, singing along. For people in a different mood. Other albums might have darker albums or more seminal albums. They might have floated your boat more. But this year, for me anyway, I've gravitated to albums that have kind of had a bit more of a summery, pick me up feel to them, so soon-y kind of thing. But the bands that kind of didn't quite make it, or Porridge Radio, just outside a good album, quite vociferous, quite angry, very different, different take, don't really sound like anybody else could want to look out for. The Black Watch, another band I bought the album. They've had 2 albums out this year, maybe a bit, I don't know if that's a bit too much. Anyway, 1,000 Yard Stare, Name from the Past, Blast from the Past, the boys have brought out an album this year, a great album, some really good songs on there. Again, not quite into the top 12. Certain Ratio, again a band a lot of you will be familiar with from back in the day, and Denise Johnson, who sadly passed away this year, sang on that, making that quite poignant. It's a good album, yeah, not quite up there in the top 12. And finally, Such Small Hands, Melanie Howard from the Wedding Prince, her own album, Carousel, just all done on her own. So well done, Melanie. A great effort, quite dark, very personal album. Maybe not quite for me this year, I need a bit more of an uplifting, but anyway, still a great album and a great achievement. So well done, Melanie, on that. So let's get into the rundown, what we waited for. And at number 12, we have got Cabbage band, Manchester band, Amanita Pantarina, which is the name of this. Oh, the mushroom's not on the front. there you go, that mushroom there. Amanita Pantarina, that mushroom, deadly mushroom. And this also wins, new punk. This is quite political, like movie-esque, I thought, a little bit, quite cool, edgy, raw, got some swagger to it, some young swagger to it, really like it, really good album. And I think this vinyl here is actually probably my favourite piece of vinyl, this splatter vinyl, which kind of goes really well with the colour scheme they've got, so it all kind of ties in, kind of reminds me of the bottom of a mushroom as well. So I've given those guys, yeah, this is my, album-wise, design-wise of the vinyl, that's my top 1. But they're number 12. But yeah, great album, well done guys, really enjoyed that. And good design throughout on that, I must admit, really nice. And then, number 11, we have Sports Team. Yeah, good band. They've sort of got this Art Brut, orange slice, orange juice, orange slice. Never mind, it's Christmas. Kind of feel to them, a bit dry cleaning, and do nothing. Bands like this got that kind of that feel to them, punky, edgy. It's a really good album, that, and good stuff. Nice design as well. So I like that one. That is at number 11. Some good hooks. It's an upbeat, very upbeat album, which is quite nice this year to have. Nicely designed as well. Quite a nice design on that. So there we go. Number 10 is Sandra's Wedding. This was my very first episode of Vinyl Reels, and it's a good album, really good. And they've produced 2 albums this year. They produced another one after this, which I haven't had chance to listen to be honest. Is it better than this? I don't know. I'm not in a place to judge that. But this is a very good album in a House Martins-esque feel, 80s feel to it. Really upbeat, some feel good, really well structured, some great lyrics in there, autobiographical stuff in there, some nice stories to be told. Really nice, feel good summary album. Really like that. Well done guys. That is number 10 on my list. And then we get on to flicking my piece of paper over. Number 9, The Beths. This is an album I didn't review. I bought this prior to starting my reviews. Really great indie pop from New Zealand. Beth Stokes is the lead lady there, lead singer. Some really lovely vocals, some great lyrics, some great hooks, like Flying Nun style record label. Who a lot of these bands they've got that kind of feel about them. Really nice. So well done to the Beths on that. My albums are flicking forward, which ain't helping. Doing my thing, but never mind, we should carry on. Number 8 is Howl by John Foxx and the Maths. Okay, this is got an electronic here. John Foxx still proving there's still life in the old dog yet. John from the early days of Ultravox, the original Ultravox. And it's kind of, this harks back to some of their finest work, I believe, really, on Systems of Romance there. His last album with Ultravox. So yeah, really nicely designed as well. I thought this was a well designed album. and really good. Yeah, there's life in the old dog. Yeah, you're either going to like that or love it. But if you're into your synth, that's a really good album. Well done, John and the lads. And then that leads me on to number 7, which is BDRMM with their album Bedroom, their debut album. Shoegaze, dream pop feel to this. There's something kind of simple. It's quite simple, but it's effective too, and it's a sound. It's not particularly like anybody else in that dream pop sort of shoegaze. They kind of stand out a little bit. And for a debut album, I thought it was really good. A lot to like there. It's quite catchy, and it stands out. I thought it stands out amongst the crowd of shoegaze on the dream pop stuff that was coming out. That's on Sonic Cathedral. So well done, guys. Got that at number 7, and then we go on to number 6, and that is Jetstream Pony. Beth Arsey and Sean Charman and another lady who I've completely forgotten. Sorry about that. And yeah, some clever indie guitar pop on this. Again, the debut album. Some really dark content in there, but having said that, it's not too dark and depressing. There's some nice, easy, it's got an addictive style to it, and I really like that. Really good album. A really good album to start off with, and that's a limited edition, that one too. So yeah, well done Jetstream Pony and Beth. Number 6, and then we're going to the top 5, and we've got top 5 Pottery with, I got this wrong, Welcome to Bobby's Motel. I called it Bobby's Motel during the review, but Welcome to Bobby's Motel. This is really funky, uplifting rhythms, just what I needed this year. Like we all have a bit of an uplift and something a little bit different. Guy's got an interesting voice, interesting delivery, so much going on throughout it, but not a bad song on the album. And it kind of really stood out from the crowd, I felt. And the design for this, these lads are kind of, for me, they've won the Design of the Year award for the album I've got. It's got this mono with these tints over the top. There's so much going on. Here's Bobby welcoming you to his hotel. Then inside, it's printed on nice stock too. And there's Bobby in his bed with somebody else. And then you've got all this quirky writing over the top. And then when you get into the inner disc, you've got it all going on there. There's messages within that, and it all really ties in really well. So well done to the Pottery guys. They brought out an outstanding album there, and it's well designed and very well received by me. You're in at number 5. Well done. And going on to number 4, we have Emperor of Ice Cream. This 90s indie throwback. It took 25 years to get this album out. Well done, guys. It's a nice, feel-good throwback to the 90s. Indie guitar tunes, nothing too fancy, but there's some distinguishable, really great sounds in there. Some really good songs, and the singer, what's his name, Haggis, he can really sing. So really, really, really good. I really enjoyed that. More about me throwing you back to a place and time than anything else. But having said that, these songs are really good. There isn't a weak song on there. So really well done, guys. You are number 4 on my list, and great design there. I like that too. Number 3, into the nitty gritty, is Silverbacks with Fad, this Irish band from Dublin. Well done, guys. Produced a great album here, punk, art rock. It's cool structure. It's got an abrasive, quirky, comedic. It's got a bit of everything. The old kitchen sinks thrown at this, quite angular, but some really, really catchy, good songs there. Dunkirk, Club, Silver Rucken, Grinning at the Lid, Muted Gold, Last Orders. Throughout this, some really, really great songs, some great songwriting, and some great structure as well, some great melodies and things like this. Really, really good album. Well done, guys. So that's my kind of, what you could say, Irish. 1 and 2, Emperor of Ice Cream, followed by Silverback. So well done, guys. Great album. And then we go on to number 2, and this is Working Men's Club, debut album from the guys. Indie, synth pop, new wave, housey, techno, kind of snapped ankles type feel to it. Really got a great attitude to this, and they come over really well. They've got something to say. It's very different sound to anything else out there, I thought, and they've changed their style to bring kind of, they've changed members as well to get this out. They're really good live, worth catching live, and the art direction, stuff like that, all ties in really well. Some really, really great songs. Valleys, John Cooper Clarke, throughout it. Cup of Coffee, Ain't Teeth, Angel to finish, probably the best finishing song on any album I've got this year. So big shout out to the guys. Well done, Working Men's Club produced a fantastic album. Very difficult to choose for, you know, the top 5 here. You know, I could have chose anyone, could have come first, but it was your second, and you've lost out to, unfortunately, the Luxembourg Signal with the album The Long Now. This is Beth Arzi again, who was in also in Jetstream Pony. She's also in this band here, and this is about their 3rd album, I believe. And really great synth, American dream pop, Galaxy 500 type feel, American football type feel to it. Really, really feel good song, something to really like. There's nothing not to like in here. Great melodies, great structure, great lyrics. Beth's got a great voice. Just really does absolutely everything for me this year, this album. So I've absolutely loved it from top to bottom. From the first song, I Never Want to Leave, you know, Lost Hearts, Cut the Bridle, Elevated Silence, through to the last song, When All That We Hold Decays. Just all throughout this really, really fantastic album. Well done, guys, and that's my top album from 2020. And so that's it. I think that's kind of wrapped it up. The only other thing to say, you might have noticed I've got on my Vinyl Reveals t-shirt here. I've had printed. So if you do want a t-shirt, just drop me a DM. I'll put an order. It's got till the end of January, let's say. Any profit I make, which will be very little, I should imagine. Any profit I make, I will put to a charity of somebody's choice. So if you want to order a t-shirt, send me maybe a local charity that interests you, or you think might benefit from the proceeds from these t-shirts. Let me know before the end of January. I'll let everybody know, and we'll take it from there. So thank you for listening to all the episodes. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for all the great feedback, and I'll see you again for episode 19, which will be series 2, episode 1. We'll keep it episode 19 in the new year. So have a great new year. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas, and I hope to see you again in 2021. Take care. Cheers. Thank you very much. Bye.